Testing, testing, testing. Let's listen to some music for a little bit. Listen to some My Boo. What up, Bill? Got a couple minutes, just chilling out, listening to some radio, you know, reflecting on them good old days. Man, did you see where they're testing that new howitzer down there at Fort Sill? Fires almost 40 miles. It's I think a 12 in an M1299 or something. I don't remember the exact nomenclature, but man, it's a hell of an artillery piece. So anyway, yep, it's just another day. Yeah, Friday anyway. It is Friday, so we do have that going for us. We got a couple minutes here. Yeah, not green bag at all, not red bag either. No, I don't know what kind of propellant they're using, but my goodness, that's a hell of an artillery piece. I tell you what, to be able to lug that thing that far, 98 pounds, 20 or 40 miles. That's a long ways. So, anyway, still got a couple more minutes. I don't want to cheat anybody out of their time or anything like that. You know, so anyway, we'll see if a couple more people come on. Put the email out every day that I'm going live at 4:30. Now, if you guys don't understand, I don't know. I mean, I told you to put it in your Palm Pilot, put it in your Outlook, put it in your calendar, put it in all your stuff as a reoccurring event. Every day at 4:30, Kale Grauberger's going live, all right? I mean, it's just going to happen, all right? So anyway, going to give it a couple more minutes. You know, I was thinking about today, about all the 80s music I listened to. And, man, I called 867-5309 hoping to find Jesse's Girl, all right? Now I'm going to end up walking 500 miles to Bless the Rains in Africa in order to catch 99 loft balloons to Brussels so I can eat a Vegemite sandwich. Now, tell me I don't listen to a lot of 80s music, all right? I do. I listen to a lot of 80s. Marco, hey, welcome aboard. It looks like we're only going to have 2 viewers at 4:30, guys. I just don't, where did my timer go? Right there, you know? I got 4:32, so you all are late. I'm getting on with the show and all that, so you all can just tune in as you want, all right? Okay. Anyway, first news story I want to talk about of the day is a big one. It involves our military, especially 16 Marines that were at Camp Pendleton that were pulled out of formation and arrested in front of the whole battalion. Now, you may say, well, why were they arrested in front of the whole battalion? Well, they got arrested for human smuggling and drugs. Now, I'm not a genius. I'm by far not a genius. You know, like I said, I graduated in Chisholm or from Chisholm back in 1990. Out of a class of 69, I was number 69, all right? I had the great pleasure to have that number, all right? Now, I'm not a smart man thinking that these guys got arrested for drugs and for human smuggling. I'm kind of thinking maybe they belong to a cartel, maybe? Guys, gals, gangs are really a big problem within the United States military. And it's something that the military doesn't talk a whole lot about because they like to just keep everything on the DL, you know, and not going on. But gangs are rampant in the military, okay? And it's just one of those things. And it's everywhere. Gangs are everywhere. In the military, too. And that's the thing, you know, and they could be involved in, I don't know what these Marines did. I know Marines are good at eating crayons, but I didn't know that they were going to go into drug smuggling and people smuggling. I didn't know that, you know. But to me, that sounds like they could be some cartel members involved. There could be some gang affiliation going on or something. But these soldiers that were arrested now are going to be, you know, they're done. They're done. Just stick a fork in them and these 16 soldiers are done. I'm sorry, guys. I got to turn down this music. Third Eye Blind here is, or Fall Out Boy. I'm sorry. Fall Out Boy is kind of getting on my nerves right now. So anyway, hey, John, how are you doing? Teresa, how are you? Aaron, hey buddy, I'm gonna be doing a live show next week over at Romanos Park. Okay, so that's gonna be Tuesday night at Romanos. I'll be doing a live show, Aaron. So I'm gonna need security over there. So if you would make sure you have all that coordinated for me by the time I go over there next week. I don't want to be rushed by anybody or anything like that. So you make sure you have that security already in place for my show Tuesday night there at Romanos Park. Okay, now, next thing I'm going to talk about is Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan. You're thinking, well, what in the world does Lake Michigan have to do with Oklahoma? Well, I'll tell you. Our lakes do it here, all right? But this was kind of cool. Lake Michigan yesterday went from 75 degrees to 49 degrees in 24 hours. And you're wondering, well, Cale, it's the middle of July, it's the end of July, 1st of August. How is that even possible? The water Tuesday was 75 degrees, and yesterday it was 49 degrees. How is that possible? Well, guys and gals, there is a thing in nature where ponds turn over, lakes turn over, okay? If you have an aquarium long enough, the thing's going to turn over, okay? So that's what the lake did, is it turned over. So all the water that was at the bottom of the lake, the cold part of the lake, it came up via, I don't know, Area 51. Guys, I don't got to explain it. It just happened. So the cold water from down below came up to where the warm water was, and it just cycled through, and now the warm water went back down to the bottom of the lake. Okay, so it did. It went from 75 to 49 degrees, all right, yesterday. Okay, now that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. So anyway, and you cannot swim there for the next 3 days because hypothermia is a big threat. So, man, that's kind of crazy. In the end of July in Lake Michigan is 49 degrees. And Oklahoma is only 90. That's just crazy. But anyway, all right. Moving on. What time is it? Ronald, how are you? I know you're down in Florida, buddy. You're down there, and I hope everything's going well down in Florida. It's probably muggy there. It's really nice up here this week. Been really low humidity and all that good stuff. But next week, guys, it's going to get hot. It's going to get miserable. I mean, we're looking at highs around 99 to 100 with wind chills around 108 to 110. Okay, so it's going to be very, very unpleasant next week. So anyway, you know, be ready for that. Okay, today's really our last really nice day. And to say that in July is just amazing. But anyway, 37 days to kickoff till football starts. All right. College football's right around the corner, guys. NFL training camps have started. You know, I don't know. You know, it's kind of mixed deal still with me about supporting the NFL. Okay. Now, I know that this Colin Kaepernick crap started all of this. Well, I'm not going to watch the NFL thing because he's kneeling and he's protesting the flag and stuff, okay? And then he gets all this notoriety from Nike and gets an endorsement with Nike for kneeling, and then he gets praised, and then all of this shit just snowballs into what we got today, okay? Now, there's a reason why I don't buy Nikes anymore. Now, yes, I do have Nikes in my closet, but I'm not going to throw away a perfectly good sneaker. I mean, those Shox, those Nike Shox are expensive. All right, I'm just not going to throw them out. I'm going to wear them suckers out, okay? If I got to cut the swoosh off of them, I will. All right, but I'm just saying, I really don't know. You know, people criticize me for watching the NFL, and people criticize me anyway, and I really, you know, it really doesn't hurt my feelings any. It really doesn't. I don't care, you know, but, you know, all this stuff, I'm sure right here, is offending a lot of people. I mean, okay, so me watching NFL, what does that have to do with anything? All right? Maybe I don't support the NFL. Maybe I support particular players and like to watch particular players play football, okay? So, last season, I watched the Cleveland Browns play football for the first time. I watched NFL for the whole season, all right? Well, guess what? I'm going to do it again this year because I'm going to watch Baker Mayfield and do what he do. All right? Now, you know, if you want to protest the NFL, protest the NFL. But it's not really the NFL that you need to be protesting. What we need to be doing is getting rid of the problem. We need to be getting rid of that Colin Kaepernick and keep him out of the news and keep him from spreading all this hatred and crap in America. That's what we need to do, all right? So what we should do is we should cut all ties with him. That's what we should do. Let him sink, all right? I mean, again, I think he was one of those that said if Donald Trump was elected president, he was moving to Canada. Well, hell, why aren't you all there? Why aren't you all there? I mean, Democrats, come on, guys. You all need to lay off the president and let him do his job. All right? How I went from football back to that, I don't know, but it all ties together. You understand what I'm saying? So our politics is affecting our sports, which is affecting my watching ability on Sunday afternoon, which is really affecting a whole lot of crap. I really don't know. But guys, the thing about it is, you know, we need to protest soccer too. Okay? All of you that like women's soccer, well, last I knew there was a broad out there that threw the American flag on the ground and played for the USA. Now, Maybe we need to protest soccer. Okay. I think really about the only sports that we can really call a true American sport where they have no problem praying, they have no problem with the flag, they have no problem with anything is NASCAR. NASCAR, I believe, is the true American sport, okay? They have a prayer on TV before every race, all right? They also show the national anthem before every race. They show the national anthem. You don't see a single driver, team member, anybody kneeling by the cars, all right? So, I believe that NASCAR is by far the most American sport that you can get, all right? I know it's just go fast and turn left, but guys, if you want somebody that really respects America and that really respects our troops, it's those NASCAR drivers, all right? I got to meet a bunch of them, and I actually got to sit on pit road during the race at Texas several years ago, whenever I was still in the military, and I got to roam up and down all pit road while I was in uniform. I got to meet all of these drivers. I got to meet all of these crews. Man, it was cool. So when we got, when we get down to it, and we're talking about true American sports, all right, I think NASCAR's got it all topped, okay? Because they do pray. They do show the national anthem, all right? And, they don't do that with any other sport. I mean, baseball maybe. Oh, and they show a flyover. There's always a flyover. Okay, so, I don't know. Maybe you need to watch NASCAR and, I don't know. That's just my thought. But anyway, okay. Now, with it being Friday, I'm going to do something kind of different, all right? At the end of my shows, I always talk about 22 veterans a day that commit suicide. Well, before I... all right. Okay, all right. I was just making sure there wasn't any questions or anything, concerns, anything like that I was leaving out. Okay, so anyway, the way that I close my show every day is by bringing awareness to veteran suicide, okay? And veteran suicide needs to be taken very seriously, okay? There's 22 veterans a day on average that commit suicide, okay? And that's 22 too many, guys, all right? So here are some things, here are 12 things that you need to look at, okay, in a veteran, if they're struggling or whatever. These are some signs that they are depressed and that they may need some help. And now these are real things. I didn't make these up. These are real credible warning signs about depression, okay? Because some of us don't know how to identify. I mean, I don't. You can, I guess, but not everybody knows how to identify depression. They just want to, sweep it under the rug, and go on. But here's 12 ways of knowing that somebody might be depressed and might need some help. Okay, number 1, they're often quite talented and very expressive. Okay? These veterans that are out there, they have a lot of talent. Okay? They have a lot of talent. And, there's great musicians in the military. There's all kinds of talent in the military. The Air Force has got a traveling band, Thompson Blue, Look what the Blue Angels do. Look what the Thunderbirds do. There's all kinds of talent, okay, in our United States forces, okay? And they're they're very expressive too, okay? So they're quite talented and they're very expressive. Well, the reason they're very expressive is because the military kind of teaches you, to be expressive, especially as you get into being an NCO and above and all that stuff and start having to make decisions and all that. So that kind of carries over. They can be expressive, okay? Another thing to look for is they may tend to search for purpose, okay? What is my purpose? What do I need to be doing to contribute to society? Okay, so they're trying to seek a purpose, okay? So if you know somebody like that, trying to seek a purpose or whatever, hey, that may be a warning sign, all right? Sometimes they make muted cries for help, okay? They may not just come out and say, hey, I need some help. They may make muted cries for help. They may, I don't know, maybe go off the grid for a few days. Maybe, I don't know, they just, they will just do a very muted cry for help. And you'll know when it happens, okay? You'll know that they're trying to express it somehow, okay, by a muted cry. Now, they interpret substance differently, okay? So, in the military, everything is, if you get sick, you get hurt, you're in pain, whatever, the common thing is an 800 milligram ibuprofen in a bottle of water. That's what they're going to give you, all right? So now they interpret substances differently, okay? They may interpret, maybe beer or alcohol a different way than you do, okay? Maybe they interpret marijuana or something differently than you do. But they determine, or they interpret substances differently, okay? So that's another thing to look out for, okay? They often have a very involved perception of life and death, okay? Now, that's kind of a broad spectrum type of thing to talk about right there, but, they may have a very opinionated perception of life and death, okay? So if any of that is coming around you or whatever, that's a warning sign to look out for in that veteran, okay? Now, they may have strange eating habits, okay? That's another one, okay? They may not, when a person is depressed, when a person is feeling just worthless, I've been there. I mean, when you feel depressed, worthless, all of that, you don't eat, okay? You don't eat, all right? You just are not in the mood to eat. You're not in the mood to, you're just not. And so your eating habits will change if you're depressed, okay? Abnormal sleeping habits, okay? I mean, guys, a lot of these veterans have been to combat, okay? So, they will get to sleeping and they will just get interrupted by sleep by a nightmare, And so they will have abnormal sleep patterns. They may sleep a couple hours here, a couple hours there, sleep during the day or whatever, They may have abnormal sleeping habits. So if you know somebody that does that or has abnormal sleeping habits, hey, reach out to them, find out what's going on, They may have abandonment issues as well, okay? They may feel like that, they could be abandoned at any time, that, there won't be nobody there for them, So that's another thing. They may have abandonment issues, okay? And some of them are pros at coming up with cover-up stories, okay? So that's another sign of depression. if they're a pro at coming up with cover-up stories about everything, then, hey, maybe you need to ask them a little bit more and find out what, hey, what's going on. And they're always making an effort to seem happy, okay? They're always trying to, seem like they're just happy, when deep down they're not, okay? But they'll do this. They'll put on a front and act like they're happy, okay? But, so if you notice kind of strange behavior that way, if they are making abnormal efforts to act like they're happy, then they're probably not, okay? They seek love and acceptance, all right? They want to be loved. They want to be accepted by everybody around them, okay? And then this is probably the most significant one out of the 12 that I've given you, is they're always thinking of the worst case scenario, okay? Worst case scenario. And I'll just put this in a very simple deal. Worst case scenario. For instance, most people that have been in the military will not go in and sit at a restaurant with their back to the door. Okay? They're always thinking worst case scenario. What happens if somebody were to come in that door and I can't see them in time? So, they're always thinking worst case scenarios. Okay, guys? So that's another, thing that may identify a depressed person or a veteran. Okay? So anyway, it looks like I'm getting close on time. I just kind of wanted to bring you some things to look at, especially now in my closing and my devotional that I have. Now you can kind of understand where I'm coming from whenever I say there's 22 veterans a day that commit suicide. All right? That is 22 too many veterans committing suicide. So what you all need to do is you need to look at those 12 things that I just told you, and if any of those stick out in your head, you need to ask that veteran, hey, is there something I can do for you, buddy? All right? Because it's the littlest thing that will go the longest, okay? I mean, just going out and maybe volunteering to mow the veteran's yard, or doing something kind for that veteran. Maybe that veteran is having a very bad day, but if you come over and you say, hey man, I noticed you could use some help out in your yard, let me mow that for you. You may have just saved that veteran's life. That veteran may say, hey, you know what? Maybe I am loved and I am accepted. So it's a full circle deal, guys. All right? So check on your veterans every day. All right? Now, I would also encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube page. All right? Go onto my YouTube page. Be ready to copy this down. Okay? It is SSGGRUBOK, all in uppercase letters. Okay? That is on YouTube. You can get all my videos on YouTube, plus you will get exclusive access to my marriage self-help series that is included only on my YouTube page, okay? And then I also encourage you to like my page, because whenever I get 1,000 likes on there, I'll get my own URL. Now, again, I have no idea what a URL is. I've had a UTI before, but I never had a URL. So I'm thinking it's got to be a pretty cool thing. So go in there, like my page. Now, you all don't have to watch it, okay? Because I know sometimes, I kind of go off the deep end and I'm kind of foul-mouthed and stuff like that. And some days is just normal. So you never know. You never know, okay? Depends on how riled I'm up, but hell, I had to mow 400 acres earlier today in 2 hours on my new John Deere mower, and I'm worn out, okay? So anyway, got the 400 done, all that on my new John Deere 110 series. Awesome lawnmower. Go out and buy you one. All right, it works great compared to them. Y'all got them big 9 series, like 9620s or whatever. Yeah. My little 110 does the same thing. It's got GPS. It's got, but the GPS doesn't work if I'm using my phone. But it's got everything else on it. Hell, it's got auto steer. As long as I got a hold of the handle or the wheel, I steer it. It's got auto steer, and it's quiet. I mean, it's a John Deere. I got me a Deere. All right. Anyway, guys, enough of that. You all have a great weekend. Have a blessed weekend. Reach out to your veterans, okay? Keep safe out there. It's going to be warm, muggy, and miserable. All right? So please wear deodorant, okay? Please. And you all have a great weekend. I'll be live here again tomorrow, hopefully at 4:30. If not, my schedule on the weekend's kind of iffy. I may be here at 4:30. I may have to go before that. But I'll try to send out a warning order before that to let you know about 15 minutes ahead that I'm going live. All right? And now I'm going to give you a weekend safety brief too, okay? All right. Here's your weekend safety brief. All right. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. Don't get thrown in jail. But if you do get thrown in jail, establish dominance quickly. All right? Okay, guys. You all have a good weekend. God bless. Be safe. Pray for our troops. Pray for our president. And pray for the United States of America. All right, guys? I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. You all have a good evening. Take care.